Yeah, it is an unreason. We were just talking about how unreasonably hot it is in this universe, and it really needs to not be. I mean, I was hoping for the global freezing. Not the global warming one. I was hoping for the global freezing. Hello, Brent.
Instead, we have the. Yeah, I know it's weird.
But I'm not staying forever because I'm still unpacking crap.
I mean, it's not like you just had a major convention.
Yeah, like the thing that every year takes up more and more and more of my life. Yes.
Well, the best part about it wasn't last year, the year before, the time you were like, I'm cutting back. I'm retiring from any major thing. I'm just going to be in the background, not doing anything.
I mean to do that every year, too. I want to do that so badly every year. Oh, it's ZBrush guy. No, it's Pepper.
No, it's a Pepper.
Hey, we're adding and subtracting him. That's cool.
There we go.
Oh, for a second there, for a second there, I thought you didn't want me on.
Yep, that's us. We don't want you on.
Okay.
Well, holy crap! We actually did get Colton too. There's gonna be a ton of us.
Crap! We have everybody.
No, we don't have Raph.
That's true. Well, I don't think we ever have Raph. Raph is too important for us. He's going big time, I think.
Raph's going big time?
We always have Raph with Khan.
I'm watching that tomorrow night.
Why did it just get blue? That was weird.
Or maybe not.
You're very blue.
I know. I don't know why, but it did. We're just gonna let it go.
You're in your blue period?
Yes.
So blue.
Yes.
I like
the artist has a blue period.
Dude, I never left a blue.
Oh, that like the show?
Oh, hey. Check it. Speaking of blue period, I got a Blue Destiny armor frame. So I will be in my blue gun club period. There we go.
It's okay. I'm watching my friend do push-ups on stream. It's hilarious.
So, Colton, I may be joining you on returning to school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What are you going for?
Anthropology?
That's random.
Not really. Because if you think about kind of where my universe sort of fits, it's cultural anthropology, not archaeology.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense now.
Knowing how cultures work and how people interact with one another and economics and societies, and I mean, like, all of that stuff super fascinates me. And so and I was hanging out all weekend. I was hanging out all weekend with another with a PhD, not another PhD, but a PhD. And she's been, for 3 or 4 years now, she's been really working hard to get me to go back to school.
Nice.
But we were talking about this, and she's a doctor in, I don't even know what she is, but I mean, her concentration is on Japanese culture and interface with American culture. And that's why she's in NDK. She comes to NDK every year. She is a professor out in Oregon. At Oregon University, and she comes out here every year, and we were talking, and she's like, so if you figure out what you're doing with your school loans, are you going to go back to school? And I'm like, I don't know, I haven't thought about it, and I mean, I haven't really given it much thought. And then she's like, you really should, because it would be really, you study people, you're a scholar. And then I was like, oh, I never really thought of it that way, but I guess I am really kind of a scholar. I mean, like, that's
Makes
like
sense.
the thing. I like to study and research. I mean, I told her the story of the star maps, and she's like, "Gosh, you already have like 30% of a master's thesis right there." it was like
I
all the work
mean,
into a star
she's
map,
not wrong.
right?
I mean, yeah, she's really like. I agree with Colton. The level of detail that you went into your story building was literally watching like
Paint dry,
how I had to do my master's thesis in my master's program.
right? My whole comic could be a thesis.
What was your master's thesis, Pepper?
My master's thesis was on how to build a business. A sustainable business, actually.
Damn. Oh, yeah, you went for business major, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Basically
but anyway,
a completely green company.
that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much what you do right now.
Yeah.
Yep. It was literally a business plan.
You just wrote about your business plan. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, it was pretty much my business plan. Yeah, it was funny because like my professor actually for my thesis, my final thesis class, was like ready. Like I written it so well, he was ready to give me money
Wow.
for my
Why did
business.
he give you money?
I didn't take the money because I foolishly said in the business plan I was going to do a Kickstarter to start it.
Ah.
But then all
There
the
you go.
distribution that I would need to do was through Diamond, and Diamond said they would never pick me up.
Oh, Diamond.
Yeah. I mean, let's be realistic. Diamond has shot themselves in the foot recently, so...
Oh no, they've been shooting themselves in the foot nearly constantly since the mid
Beginning of-
2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Not wrong.
like, they literally shot themselves in the foot when they basically allowed one of the big three comic book companies, like, walk away from them
Yeah.
Well,
within the last
also,
years.
Also, there was something, this was like 2008, 2009, where they decided to go digital. But the digital plan literally hurts your brain because it involves the person going to a comic book shop, buying a physical book, getting a printout code for the digital version of the book,
Yep.
taking that printout code to the front register. The reason why I remember this story is the podcast I was listening to that was talking about this. One of the guys' computer had a minor meltdown, and so it would take his mic and loop it.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point it got stuck on him laughing because they got into this big joke about everything being ticker tapes, and the guy started laughing, and it took it and looped it, so he was stuck laughing forever. He just became a laugh singularity. But
Makes
yeah,
sense.
they wanted to do this weird thing where you had to go to a comic book shop to buy a digital version of a book you already just bought. And it's like, why are you doing this?
I feel like I'm doing this in reverse because I just put my entire book out digitally on Global Comics and printed a whole bunch of it to sell. Which, by the way, I sold like 7 copies at NDK.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like everybody kept coming around and going, "I'll take another copy." And how much is it? And I was like $10, and they're like, "Here," and I'm like, "What?" So
I'm currently working a different event
I told
though.
you so. Yeah.
I was there Saturday night after
Oh,
I
you
got off
were?
of work. Yeah, I
I
showed up
w-
on Saturday after work.
I would say you should have found me and said something, but really, you would never find me.
I looked for you. I'm not gonna lie, but
I ran into Tom.
it's a big.
and Berto.
So like, this is the thing I was telling him, like, because everybody was worried about the wedding. Oh my god, the wedding! And I was
know,
like,
right?
we are such a big. This venue is 3 times the size of the Sheraton, 4 times size of the Marriott. Like, doesn't matter. And I was like, we are not gonna get involved. And literally, I watched the wedding. We were not involved, and then they blocked off the whole basement area for the wedding and had a bar down there. I was like, we didn't see the wedding party at all.
Didn't even mess with him.
No, and that's why I was like, we were not going to have a problem at the Gaylord.
No, and that was the best year we've had so far. Moreover, one thing that was it's how can you tell whether it was a good con or not? I actually sat down with Jackie and we played Attack Wing, Star Trek Attack Wing, in our Starfleet uniforms for almost a whole hour. And the reason that that's a good thing is usually I spend the entire weekend with my hair on fire. I never get an hour to change into my Starfleet uniform and sit down with Jackie and go tiny spaceships on the table. But I was able to.
That's awesome.
We are getting better every year. Less things on fire. So that was a good thing.
That's awesome, though. I'm glad you at least got to actually relax and have a good time.
Yeah. It was a good. Because
I usually know, like, from all the past experiences, or at least from hearing from how everything kind of gets ran, like, you're dealing with a lot of the hotel staff and everything that's going on, and this is blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, yep, don't miss that stuff.
Yeah.
But this hotel has the staffing that I don't think will ever really have a legit problem, because they have the staffing to literally get rid of the fire before it freaking happens.
Yeah, the biggest fire.
And they train the people there. They're like, hey, we are a convention hall.
Yes.
You're going to be having to do this.
Yes.
But that's also why they make the bigger bucks in the hospitality world.
We came up to the conclusion. Well, actually, so one of the guys measured it. It's a 1/4 mile from the green room down to the edge of the convention hall.
Doesn't surprise me.
And I walked that.
Yeah.
7 times.
Shit.
Over the weekend.
Hey, at least you got your steps.
I'm hoping I lost weight because, that was brutal. That was so brutal.
Like, I know the complaints that guests give, and it's literally the only biggest one I ever hear is the 2. It's parking, and there's nothing else out there. But at the same time, it's a resort. You're not technically supposed to leave.
Right. Well, parking, they're remedying, but we can only go at the speed of how long or how fast they can build the 4-story parking garage that they're going to build out there.
Right. And it's also, it's not your responsibility to build their parking garage. It's
That's not our
Gaylord's, and if they
problem.
want to do it, they'll do it.
We did try to get like the parking spot to help and stuff like that. And then I was reading out online and people are like, the parking spot people were so rude and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, I can't help you on that one. We got you alternative parking.
But
Yes.
also, there's a tip jar. There's a reason why they're being rude. They're bringing you guys in, and there's a tip jar sitting there, and no one was tipping.
Were you? Oh, did you take it?
What?
The parking spot?
No, my friend did, and he told me that. He said literally out of like the 30 people that were on the bus, nobody tipped. And that's why they were getting me. That's why they were getting angry. They're just like, dude, this is my job. I get paid in tips also, like, and nobody's tipping.
Yeah. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either, but at the same time, like, I don't blame both sides. I don't blame, because a lot of them aren't used to having the shuttle service, and two, the shuttle service is usually most people don't realize the shuttle service usually makes they're like waiters. They come in, they work for like $6 an hour, they make all their money in tips. So like they're wasting their day away driving back and forth in like 100-degree weather. It wasn't 100, but it was still pretty warm.
It was 90 something. It was pretty close.
But yeah, no, it was. But also like, it also ended late to the shuttle, which I thought was weird.
There was all kinds of
like it ended at like as soon as it hit 11, they were done, and I was like, that's weird for a convention that's on Saturday that's going to be running till about 2,
Yeah.
3 o'clock in the morning.
It was one of those things, last year we didn't do anything.
True.
I didn't know. We didn't know we did know, but we didn't know what to do. We had no idea how to solve it.
Yeah, you guys didn't think about it. It's fine.
Yeah. We didn't think about
it. It's a whole new experience for you guys, too.
We thought about it as soon as the show started because we looked at the parking lots and went, and the Gaylord said, no, we got this under. We got this. We got this. We're fine. And then Saturday they were like, we're in trouble. And we're like, yeah, we kind of thought you'd be.
We were figuring this is going to happen. But at the same time, it was the first show out of COVID, too.
And so, but this time we fixed it.
Let me phrase that. First big show out of COVID.
Yeah, we fixed it this time, and I'm pretty excited about us fixing it. I mean,
you guys did actually. I literally still since I only live 10 minutes away, I just Ubered. I just said I'm not going to deal with this. I'm just going to Uber. It's so much easier, and I did.
Yeah. Works.
It worked out way better, and I was perfectly fine with all that. So,
yeah, actually, this year was kind of cool because the directors they gave the convention like a certain number of celebrity passes. Well, all of our guests fly in, so the celebrity passes were useful for the guests because it included free valet for the whole weekend. So Amanda gave each director one. So I valeted my car all weekend, which was amazing because I was able to take my car on Saturday and drive home and get something and go back and have a parking space.
And not have to worry about it.
And not have to worry about it. And I had a box full of crap that I had to bring into the con on Saturday. And I was like, oh, this is so wonderful. So I'm hoping they continue that next year.
Yeah.
We were doing the,
So I also heard through
the grapevine.
Nah, you kind of grapevine. I know they work with you guys. I was more going, do I say his name? I don't remember. But he works with you guys, and he was telling me that the person that kind of used to run the initial convention side with you guys from the Gaylord has moved on to different things, that usually knows how to run big anime conventions.
Yeah.
They're not there anymore, so you guys are kind of having to work with new people that don't understand. Is that correct?
So when we first started there, the director of services was from QuaCk.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
And so he knew, and we were like,
he knew what was going to happen, what you guys are going to get into. Yeah.
We were like, we were going to be a big show, and he knew it, and. So, but then he moved on, and now we've got somebody else who's fine. She's fine. She's doing just fine. But also, so part of the problem we've got is this, and this is the big problem. Our director, our head of the director, our head director, does not like to lie about our registration numbers.
You're talking about
Indicate
Gaylord or Indicate?
Our head director. She doesn't like to fluff it up. There's two ways to count your people. There's actually 3 ways. There's warm bodies, which counts how many people actually were in the building. Then there's what they call turnstile, where you take everybody who is in the building and then multiply that by the number of days of the show. So if you had, let's say, 1,000 people, you'd count them for 1,000 on Friday, 1,000 on Saturday, and 1,000 on Sunday, and call it 3,000. Right? Well, okay, that's kind of the industry standard, but it's lying. Then you have DCC, who, I'm not kidding, they took a counter, one of those little clicky counters, and sat at the dealer's room and counted the people walking in and out of the dealer's room, and then used that number.
But also by doing that, you're also not at a solid number because there's so many people walking in and out. You don't.
Right. Well, like a dealer, all you need is one dealer who's a smoker, and that's 15 people right there, because he's walked in and out 15 times during the day. Right. So DCC's been sitting here saying they had 114,000 people.
Right.
Okay, so when we say we have 20,000 people, people go, "Aw, you're a cute little con."
Yeah.
No, we're not. We're if you count the way DCC counts, we're at 85,000 people
Right.
by that
But
number.
also, in your
by
guys'
that
sense
metric.
too, you guys are finally at a bigger
Well, yeah,
event space.
but
The
the
people
problem,
that you guys couldn't calculate, because it wasn't even calculating the people that are just hanging out in the hotel.
right? Well, but I mean, the problem we've had is we will go up to a venue and say, "Hey, we've got a con of 20,000 people."
Right.
And they will say, "Aw, that's cute," and they
We
will
can accommodate
yeah, we
20,000.
can easily accommodate you, and then we blow the entire thing out because we're almost the same size as Denver Comic Con.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because Denver Comic Con inflates their numbers so that they can sound awesome and sound like the fourth largest con in the nation and make everybody go ooh, when in reality they're only slightly larger than we are. And
Right.
so they're getting like 30,000 people
Well,
technically.
also, you guys have been around for
25
decades?
years this year, as
Yeah.
you may have noticed by our livery.
Yep.
But yeah, it's still, that's one of the most frustrating parts of this whole thing is that because our CEO doesn't want to lie, and I don't blame her. I actually
Which is
completely
fine. I like
concur.
that.
Yeah, I concur. She's telling the absolute, honest to God truth. But nobody else is. Everybody else has been slowly having this war of escalation where they've been trying to one up each other on their attendance numbers so that they can get more advertising dollars and things like that. That what's happening is when we don't lie, we end up looking like a little teeny podunk con that nobody notices.
Right.
But it was good with my dad, though, because my dad hadn't been in trade shows since the 60s. So, year before last or whatever, the last time we had a con, I was talking to him and I said, "Yeah, we have, 17,000 people." And he's like, "Is that Warm Body or Turnstile?" And I was like, "That's Warm Body." And he's like, "Oh my God." And he
You
had
guys are
thought I
brilliant.
was doing, yeah, he thought it was like 5 of us getting together and watching anime in a hotel room somewhere.
Yeah.
He had no concept of the size. And then
I've
he was
never
like,
done like that.
yeah, well, I mean, and then that's when he said, "You need to put that on your resume."
You should, because that literally will that's a good thing to have on your resume, because you've been doing it for how many years?
25.
Yeah. Oh, you've been doing it since the beginning?
Yeah, I was at Indy K1.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
legit.
On the staff?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought you were like jumped in like a few years later of like, oh, you guys need a translator. Is that the first badge?
Right?
Wow.
In fact,
Really
I
good.
actually impressed the hell out of Guy.
Yeah, there we go. See?
I have the weekend badge for NDK3.
Yep.
Wow. I went. My
That's
first
this
year
one.
was 05, I think, was my first year.
That's my Indy K3 badge. Here's my Indy K2 badge.
Yeah, I say 05 was my first year. I don't even remember.
Oh, I
if
have
had
that one
badge.
too. That's this one.
Yeah, I remember that one. That's staff.
Yep. That's why I'm the head of the archive and
Right.
head of the history, is because I've been there. You know what's really weird is I turned 50 this year. This is the 25th anniversary. Literally been doing IndieK for half my life.
Nice. There's worse things you could be doing.
Absolutely. I actually really dig it, but I am completely beat. And I'm only going to sit here on this show for a little while longer and then I'm going to bomb out. But because I am going to go to bed because tomorrow morning the world goes back to normal and I'm up at 6:30 with the kid. So to get
That's
to
fair.
school and stuff like that. So
I've been working on ZBrush all day and decided to go into work for a little bit just because it was supposed to be my day off, but I was like, I'll go in just to get away from my computer. And now I'm just like, I just want to actually draw
yeah, this is I was saying that
with
that
friends.
This is the book that I just got from Dr. Freeman. Dr. Freeman is the cultural doctor who comes in, and this is her thing, is these, how she does all of these
Nice.
sort of things. Holy cow.
What are you working on, Pepper?
Yeah, Pepper.
Well, you know what?
I haven't talked to you in like months.
Well, I'm working on a script right now. I'm still working on that same prelude script that I was working on with Guy the other day when I was on the show.
Uh-huh.
I am up to 50 planned out pages.
Nice.
But like, I'll be realistic. I had to. I don't know how like drawn out like I really needed it to be, so I planned out just to go to 112 as like the cap. I had an opportunity, and then I lost the opportunity the beginning of this week to do a comic for someone that pays really well. They decided to go in a different art direction. They said that my art style that I showed them for it was great for a realistic Western, but not necessarily an erotic one.
Erotic?
Yes, a gay erotic one.
Like Western fantasy?
Yeah.
Does this guy live in Fort Collins?
No.
Oh, okay, so it's not the person I thought it was.
No, it's
I did 3 book covers for a guy that wanted erotic book covers for Westerns. And by the 3rd book, I was like, I can't go the route you want me to anymore, buddy. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I showed him the stuff, and then I showed him my normal style, and I was like, maybe I should just do it in my normal style. And I showed him like my artwork with like a pirate theme, and he's like, "Yeah, I think, yeah, your stuff is not, yeah, your stuff is probably not suited for this."
Not suited for what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. It sucks, but it happens.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I mean, I have that. I've also been working like the 3-day weekend. We literally finished hanging a fan. Bill finished all of the
What did
electrical.
that fan do to you?
Well, there's no wind in my living room, so I needed to create it.
There you go. So you just had to punish that fan.
Yeah, I did.
It
So
blew.
yeah, it blew. It blew, definitely.
It really blew.
Yeah. But all of my walls in my living room are one color. Guy has been to my house, so he knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
We painted our kitchen as well this past weekend. After finishing up the other stuff, we found out that we have 5 electrical outlets that were daisy chained together.
Nice.
Yeah. That doesn't make me feel safe at all.
So you've been very busy Pepper.
Something about that. It was really funny. And I was like, oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
And
then,
funny, not in a haha. I think
what
funny,
makes it even better, Guy, is that we have light switches that are on a 15 amp right next to a 20 amp electrical outlet.
That sounds safe.
That's totally safe, man.
Yeah. And so...
It's like golf. The smaller numbers are better.
Yeah, like... And they put 15 amp electrical outlets in all of our outlets. And then when we're doing it through the box, we see that we have 20 circuits or 20 amp circuits going to the area that these things are going to. And so my dad, since my dad has his license as an inspector for building stuff now
Nice.
because he's retired, I asked him, and he's like, yeah, you want your house to burn down? Leave the 15s in.
You want a reimbursement?
Yeah. So essentially, like what it's been hilarious. We went to Home Depot every single day last week, pretty much, to get supplies. Like one thing after another, after another, after another.
That's crazy.
Like it was comical. Like how many times we had to go. And so today, I even went today, and because I had to get new plates to put on the wall on all of the outlets, and I just was like, you know what? I saw a sign that said buy 10, get this 20% discount, and I was like, I'm not doing this a second time, and I just picked up as many as I could, and for the deal, and then I left, and I was just like, instead of spending like $11 something, I ended up spending like $9.30, which was like essentially like $2 off of what I would have paid.
But also now you have extras just in case.
Yeah. But we have a home visit this Thursday coming up at 12.
Oh, cool.
So that's the whole reason. The home visit is our caseworkers coming to our house, and then she gives us paperwork. We have to fill it out, and then we're interviewed separately about how we feel about our adoption process as it's going. So it's like a mental health check-in about the process. Then it's like another check-in with the both of us together being interviewed. And then we have to fill out documents about what we want to change with our adoption to try to look better for our adoptive families.
Okay.
But we've pretty much done everything that's open. The only thing that we have not changed since the beginning is the semi-open option where we write letters to the birth family. We're still not comfortable going beyond that.
Okay. So, based off what Brent's asking, does that mean you're on the next step moving in?
So we are very close to the third part of the list. So we're in the fourth part right now,
Okay.
which is 16 through 20. And then we find out on Thursday if we've gone up to the third part of the list, which is ends at 15, and then 11 is when that one starts.
Okay.
But we move up faster when birth families request same-sex couples.
Okay.
So like
Makes
that's
sense.
the only like thing to get us viewed faster right now.
Right.
And there's only, me and Bill have calculated, there's only 6 couples now left that are same sex in the pool, visible. So there's only so much that you can do.
Of course, Photoshop wants to update right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was talking today.
That's awesome, though. That's great.
Yeah. As you can see, I went today and I got my hair done for Halloween.
I saw. It looks good.
So it's, I know it looks kind of bad right now, but essentially it's like a ginger red mixed with black, and then purple on the sides, in the back. And yeah. So, gonna have this for a little bit.
It looks good. I like it.
Yeah, they bleached my entire head again, and I have to say, my hair bleached, it makes it look very interesting, but I feel like I'm like 4 years old again, and I look like an Aryan baby.
Okay.
That's fair. It's one reason why, like, during 2020, I was debating on buzzing my head, but I was like, I'm white and blue-eyed. That's not a good idea. And then the BLM march happened. I was like, I'm definitely not doing it now.
I will agree with that on several cases. I have shaven my head all the way down to the scalp, and I've gotten those looks. of is he a cancer patient? Is he a white supremacist? Or is he just weird?
I mean, I've known you for a long time. You're just weird.
I know. But, like, everyone that knows me knows I'm not the first two, so...
So, actually, I had said that at my panel. I was actually in a panel, and I had said that we're all weird, but we're all weird together. And that was, like, the thing, and everybody was all into that. So, that was So I'm using that now, because I coined it, so there you go. You're weird, Pepper, but we're all weird together.
Hey, I'm just getting...
I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together.
I'm just getting... Actually, I'm more excited right now, not about the adoption stuff, but more excited about the preposition of Hocus Pocus 2. I met someone who's never seen Hocus Pocus.
Wow.
That's a good movie.
Now, mind you, this person is 23 years old, so they've never seen it because they didn't grow up with it.
There's no excuse.
Yeah, well, no, she also revealed, like, her family wouldn't allow her to watch movies like that. It's one of those situations where they were, like, very Christian based.
My friend that I went to Meow Wolf with, Sam, she hasn't seen a lot of movies because her step-parent, mom, is very Christian and didn't let her watch a lot of stuff when they were younger. So
yeah,
they didn't actually get to see a lot of the movies. Like, I'm like, you haven't seen this? They're like, no. I'm like, all right,
hey,
we'll find some time.
The school I went to was a Catholic school, but they approved the English courses to read Harry Potter, at least the first book.
That's weird.
And there were
then they caught on.
No, but there were people in my class that actually their parents requested a different book during the time that we were reading it.
Huh.
Because it was dealing with magic and witchcraft.
Right.
I mean, clearly it's high fantasy. It's not real. You know?
Is it, though? We are Muggles.
I'm sorry,
we
I
don't know.
have yet to find anything that allows me to say Wingardium Leviosa and have it levitate in front of me.
You just aren't trying hard enough.
I was going to say, not with that attitude.
I mean, that's Tuesday for me.
You know what? And I tried to convert water into rum, and it still didn't happen. But I did end up blowing it up in my face.
I don't know. Have you got your letter yet? No?
No, I wouldn't have gotten my letter.
Owls.
It was set. My owl would have been set, like, the year that I would have gotten mine. The way that world is set up, it would have been 10 years before I would have gotten an owl letter.
Oh, good point.
But I'm in America, so I wouldn't get a Hogwarts letter.
No.
I would get the American school.
Whatever that was called.
How'd they do? I don't remember how they did that.
Okay, guys, I
well,
am actually starting to lose eyes things. I like closing their eyes.
Eye things? What's an eye thing?
You're losing your eyelids? Jeez, guys.
Losing my eyelids. I will see whoever wishes to join me tomorrow morning at 9 on the stream, which will probably be Brent. But the rest of you guys, I'm out.
If I'm awake, I'll join you.
There you go. You can ZBrush
some. I'm awake too. I'll join you. Bill will probably like seeing you.
So I will see you all later. But I hope you guys continue to draw for further on tonight, because I wish you all good drawing. Good night.
Right.
I will.
Bye. Good night.
Night.
Bye, Brent. Pepper's just over here.
And then there were 3. Let's see on how many.
So, did you guys hear that Killer Clowns from Outer Space is getting a video game made of it?
Finally? I've heard a rumor about that getting a video game since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Well, there actually is one.
Are we actually going to get
NES.
Battletoads 3?
No.
Like, are we actually going to get, like, a revamp of that one?
So, the guy that's making it did the Friday the 13th game that was sort of like Dead by Daylight, where it was Jason.
So wait,
versus
Friday the 13th by the guys in Golden? That Friday the 13th?
The video game one.
Yeah, the video game one for Friday the 13th was made in Golden. Is that the group that's making this?
Or at least the executive producer that's making it is.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's going to be a team battle, where you're going to have a group playing the clowns and then a group playing the humans.
Wait, so is it like a 2-player situation where a group plays the human, like it's like real time, like strategy, where like one group is facing off with another one, and it's like 2 players that meet like online?
No, it's more like a team third-person shooter.
So like Halo?
Sort of.
Okay.
So what they were showing was the clowns have
Ilphonic. Is it by Ilphonic?
I think so.
They did Ghostbusters. And the Predator.
But yeah, you're going to have one group that's playing the clowns, and then they're going to be versing another group.
Huh. Cool.
Well, it looks like they have beta up for PC. Or beta sign up for PC. But it's supposed to be on Steam, PS, PlayStation, Xbox. Yeah, it looks like they're doing it multi.
Maybe the guy switched over there. I don't know.
Well, I'm on the official.
The only thing on Ilphonic that I'm seeing
website
right now. Yeah, I was looking at Ilphonic's website. The only thing they're showing right now is the Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed game that they talked about in March.
Well, the
so it might be the
team right here is TerraVision Games, Good Shepherd Entertainment, and MGM.
So the guy that probably came up with the idea of moved companies is probably what happened.
Well, it's an MGM-owned property, so they have to be on there for that. And then Good Shepherd Entertainment is probably the people that connected with the game company.
Right.
Most likely. But
I just know Ilphonic did Friday the 13th. That's why I was like, what?
Like, the game itself looks insane.
Yeah.
They did not skimp on the they did not skimp on the original graphics of the movie.
Oh no, they didn't.
Yeah, like
they
have
leaned
new
into
clowns
it hard
too. If I'm like looking at this correctly, like there's definitely different outfits for the humans. Definitely newer clowns that were not in the movie that I remember.
I don't think I've ever really seen the movie, but I know about it.
Oh, the movie's great.
Yeah, I've seen the movie. I mean, the best part of it is when the humans are being eaten through a straw from like an acidic cotton candy webbing that basically encases them. It's great.
Oh, I love the T-Rex shadow puppet that just eats a group of them.
This does kind of look like Death by Daylight.
Yeah.
Dead by Daylight?
Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Dead by Daylight, where it's you have one bad guy chasing all the humans.
Well, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. There's 5 clowns in the movie.
Oh, okay.
So like it looks like there's several scenarios that you can play. There's at least 4. And then they even have like, so like at the very end of it, it's like evolving the horror. So like there's a PvPvE dynamic in the gameplay where you can play so that's most likely someone's playing the clowns and someone's playing the humans.
Right.
And then there's like, and then there's the like game that you can actually play.
I wonder if they're doing it the opposite way, where there's 5 people that play the clowns, and then the human all trying to attack you. I don't know.
Well, it looks like no, they're 3-player teams. So it's 3 teams play the clown, and then if you're protecting humanity, it's 3 humans playing together. And then there's another one where it's 3 versus 7 fights between clowns and the humans.
Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah.
And that's like Welcome to the Town. So I'm thinking that's like I'm thinking that might be like where
a 3v7. Okay.
Yeah, like where you're playing against the clowns, maybe with other players or with yourself, and you're playing 3 players.
And then they have a hide and seek gameplay. Okay.
Yeah, and like there's towards the bottom there's like some screenshots, and they actually show what looks to be what could be interpreted as the hide and seek game. And there's 3 clowns like behind 2 humans.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the humans, like, I'm sorry, they're like dressed like the movie. It's great. It's awesome. I think they only end up in the movie. I think they only end up saving like 1 human from being eaten through the cotton candy.
Yeah, with the screenshots, it makes a little bit more sense because you have the one where it's 3 people versus 1 clown. You have the hide and seek, the 2 hiding from the clown with the dog.
Yeah.
Dog. But yeah, okay, I could definitely see this. This looks fun.
Yeah. But am I correct in remembering that there was 1 person that was saved? Everyone else died?
Yeah, but it wasn't from cotton candy. They got into a balloon for some reason.
Okay, that's the confusion then, for me.
Yeah, everybody that was in the cotton candy, they were just screwed.
Yeah, they were dissolved pretty quickly. Like, they just stuck a straw in and sucked you out like a spider eating an insect in a little webbing packet.
Yep. And then you have the guy that got pied to death.
Oh, God, yes. So many people died in that movie.
Yes. I watched the kill count for that movie, and they're like, yeah, we're going to come back to this scene here, and we're just not even going to count them because there's too much going on in this one scene.
Colton, are you recreating a part of Northrend from World of Warcraft?
No, actually, I'm not. But it definitely looks that way now, doesn't it? Now that you mention
it.
Yes, it does. No, so art group that I'm with school, we do artist challenges, where my teacher will come up with like 6 artboards, and we have 30 minutes to come up with concepts with each artboard as it comes up. And one of the ones I did was based off this. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
So what?
Sorry?
Continue, go.
So yeah, we were doing this, and this is the one that I wanted to kind of continue, and this is what it started turning into. Let me find it here. This was Colossal Remains? Yeah. So this was the start of it.
Okay.
Yeah, these are like 30-minute sketches, just going quick, coming up with something. And this is the picture that came up. And I wanted to do something with it. And I was like, I want to put like a bones and stuff in it more and do something. So then I took that piece right here in the corner, and then I just blew it up more and kind of added more to it. And now I'm kind of working with it a little bit more. But yeah, that's after you said that, I'm like, kind of makes more sense since classic Wrath of the Lich King just came out too.
Yeah, that one came out, and then I don't know if you've seen the new trailers for Dragonflight.
I have. I'm torn with wanting to play retail again. I love classic as well, but I'm also like torn. Just like I start playing and I get bored.
Well, you know that it's now a new start of a brand new age of World of Warcraft, right?
Yeah.
So the original 3 are like what set the tone. That's based off of the original game that they spun WoW off of.
Right.
Then you have the next 3, which is like the golden era where they shook up the world.
Oh, Kata and all that, yeah.
Yeah, and then the last age is like where they like didn't necessarily like flip it, but it was just like they gave
this
it like
last bit. They've been trying to just like finish off the whole main scenario of everything that they did since Warcraft 3.
Yeah, and Dragonflight is basically, from what I've been seeing, is WoW Dragonflight has like, how can I put it? It's basically a new era.
Right.
It takes place 3 years after you get back from the underworld.
Oh, from Shadowlands?
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, like, it's still playing off the stories and all that stuff, which I'm happy about, because there is all that. But also, like, at the same time, it's like what a lot of people are talking about right now is waiting to find out how it's going to do, especially because they have so much story, they have so much stuff that they can play off of that they just never have. But also,
right.
Because it was one thing I was listening to some guys talking about it was League of Legends is starting their MMO, and the thing that League of Legends does have going for itself right now is that they have literally built so much that they don't have to really worry about lore or backlog type stuff because it's 2 decades worth of information already. So all they got to do now is just play off it, and an MMO is a great step for them right now for that. Because
I mean, I just want to point out that WoW is much older than League of Legends.
It is, but like the thing with WoW, and this is where we kind of got on that topic of it though. When I was talking to this guy about it, was WoW has deviated from its original stories and like things that like lore that was set in place, and they just kind of deviated from it. And I think that's what kind of started like the separation, like not started the separation, but started creating a bigger divide between players and Blizzard. And now they're trying to bring everything back with Dragonlands?
Yeah, Dragonflight.
Yeah, Dragonflight. They're trying to bring it all back so the players and the devs are back on the same page, and that's what I'm excited for. I'm hoping they kind of rebuild that connection with everything.
It's a yes and a no. For me, I feel like that's not what's probably going to happen. I think it's starting to look that way, but I have to start seeing to kind of feel that a little bit more.
Same. And that's kind of where I'm at with retail, though, is that like that's why I'm enjoying Classic, is because it feels that way.
Yeah.
That we're kind of back to what it used to be, and like it's just fun just to quest and not have to worry about like the max level and how many keys can you run in a week, you know. That's literally all it is in retail. But like with Classic, you can just play the game and just enjoy yourself and just do what the game was intended, was just be in an MMO, hang out with people, enjoy a world.
Yeah.
And I kind of hope they kind of go back that route a little bit with Dragonflight, is just enjoy the world, build a world again, and not just cater to the 1%.
From everything in the gameplay so far, the main big thing that people gripe about the reviewers right now is on how everyone's harping about the Dragonflight program.
Yeah.
And
the Guild Wars 2 mounts. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they also, like, the most recent update for the beta is they've given the mounts, all the Proto Drake mounts, have been updated to have their own unique entrance now.
Right.
But at the same time, even though you're mounted, you fly faster doing the dragon ride.
Right.
So, like, a big portion of it is, like, people sitting there saying, like, why can't we get faster riding now? Like, why can't we get faster flying? If we can get faster flying with dragon riding, why can't we get it faster with our normal mounts?
Yeah.
And
no, and I get that. But it's also that, like, there was a thing that I kind of do miss a little bit with before they kept trying to mess with the mounts and all that stuff, was like certain mounts did certain things, and they actually, like, they had a reason why you used them and things like that. And I kind of hope they kind of go back a little bit to that, because it was kind of that, like, hey, you want this mount for that reason, not just to collect it, but it was useful.
Yeah.
You know, where, like, the dragon riding, everybody's going to get a dragon. There's no doubt about it. We all know it. It's all going to happen. It's going to be part of the story. But, like, that one dragon's going to be the fastest mount in your whole collection.
Yep. But it's going to be only being able to be used on the Dragon Isle.
Right. So it's area locked.
Yeah.
Which, that part I don't understand. That part it doesn't make sense to me, because I'm like,
well, it's kind of like my favorite mount from Cataclysm was literally the seahorse.
Yeah, but you don't use it underwater.
You can only use it underwater, and you can only use it in that specific land.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the hell, man? Like
why can't I use it when I'm in any water?
Yeah.
Like, that didn't make sense, because, like, there's so many areas in just Azeroth in general that you could go swim in, that the seahorse would have been great just to, like, swim a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And smoother.
Well, I mean, I have the turtle mount that makes me, like, go through the water like butter.
Yeah.
But if I go onto land, it's, like, slower than all my other mounts.
Right.
So, like, I don't mind the mounts in other places. It's just, with the seahorse, what I liked about it is I didn't have, like, to worry about going up for air.
Yeah.
In those zones. And then I had a seahorse that made it, like, where I would whip through areas where I didn't have to worry about being mobbed.
Right. So you can just get through them quicker where you're not... Yeah. No, I get that. And that's the part I did like about the seahorse, too, is that I could just get around quicker and not have to worry about being mobbed as well. Like, that was so much nice. That was nice. That was a good quality of life change. But also, like, there's a... Like, that's something that I don't see why they can't change that. They did flying for everywhere. Why can't they change that with the swimming, with all that stuff, too?
It took a while. It took Cataclysm and Mists of Pandaria to actually get flying everywhere around the world.
Right.
And part of that had to do with the limitations of WoW, and, like, so the newer areas were being built on a different hardware system than the old ones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely, I definitely understand that part too. It's just more the, like, how big of teams they have that work on World of Warcraft. It just doesn't make sense that they can't have, like, a site. Like, they have a whole new team division now that just works on Classic. And most of it's just coders, because that's all they need is coders. They don't need anybody with designers, because the game was already made. It's just coders literally coding everything and putting in the new updates and getting everything updated for our new systems. That's literally all they're doing. And a lot of it's literally just copy and paste. I'm not going to lie, because that's what they've been doing. It's just copying and pasting a lot of it from what they have now.
Well, I think what it is like everyone's like, oh, like when you play the classic, like I only have the first classic. You know, like I only have the first classic game. I did not do Burning Crusade. I just have the vanilla version. Because that was free.
Yep.
And,
I mean, everything else is just subscription based, and that's why I'm like,
yeah.
cool.
And like I'm just like I'm not gonna buy the rest of them because I played those. I never played vanilla. Like I just played. I played from Burning Crusade on.
Yeah.
And you know, like I just basically was like, well, okay, well, I'll play vanilla, and I like vanilla. I like playing it, but like, I get bored.
Yeah.
I go back to the current game every single time.
I mean, the only reason I like TBC the most is because that's when my favorite race came in. Like the Draenei are my favorite race, and that's when they were finally introduced.
I'm a Draenei Paladin, actually.
Nice.
So.
But yeah, that's when the game became more fun for me. Like I enjoyed vanilla. I played it, but I was making so many random characters because I couldn't figure out a class, like a race that I liked, I could stick with. I just kept making different ones. And then TBC came out, and that's when I finally was like, this is my class. This is my race. The only downfall is that they don't have my classes within those races, but I have to work around that.
Well, and then apparently
there's talks about just opening up all the classes with every race. I don't know how that's going to work, but
there's also talks about there's also been hints and stuff like where we're going to get an expansion that's going to shake up like literally the Alliance and the Horde.
Yeah.
Possibly having like a race of the Horde switch to the Alliance and one of the races of the Alliance switch to the Horde.
Yeah.
Again?
Not again. They haven't done that yet. They only did that in the original games, Warcraft games.
Yeah.
They never really did it inside the actual gameplay itself for WoW.
They never did it in the gameplay. But also, like, within the gameplay, though, like, that was the one that, like, when they brought in the Pandarans, I thought they should have done that with the Goblins, personally, because the Goblins were always neutral.
Yeah, I mean...
But that was in Kata compared to
Gnomes, too. But... Like, the Gnomes and the Goblins pretty much were the same. Like, they played both sides.
Yeah.
The only thing is I don't trust the Gnomes as much as I trust the Goblins.
The Goblins, are going to screw you over. The Gnomes...
But the Gnomes, you don't know if they're going to, but you feel like they might.
True.
At any moment.
You never know. It's true,
because,
though.
like, if it doesn't coincide with something that they desire for, like, say something like their endeavor of knowledge,
yeah,
they'll definitely screw you over pretty quickly. So
sounds like a no. Yeah.
Yeah. But apparently, one of the Void Elves marries one of the High Blood Elves. So,
I've heard about that. Yeah.
So that's coming up, and then apparently, since me and Bill are behind on the gameplay, apparently there's already been some in-game events that we've missed. So we need to catch up on that for the storyline because it's progressing the timeline.
Well, there's also you saw what happens with the undead, right? The Forsaken.
They get a new leader.
Yeah. Arthas' sister. Did you see that or no? Okay.
I haven't seen the full extent. I don't do raids and I don't do dungeons. I just do
they didn't do it as a dungeon or a raid. It's actually a quest line.
Yeah, so I have to do the quest line to see it.
Yeah, you actually have to do so. If you want the full experience, you have to do it on a Horde character because they kind of stop you once you get there. If you're Alliance, but if you're a Horde, you actually get to watch the full cinematic and everything.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
Well, I know Arthas' sister comes back and she becomes the leader. of the undead.
Right. So, like, the full story wise of it, though, you don't get the full story unless you're a horde character. You get the clips of it, but you get a little bit more if you play as a horde character when you play into that.
Or, hear me out. I go online and I basically go to YouTube and I go, oh look, there's a video. Someone posted the full thing.
Yeah. Oh, they have. I watched it all before I went in. I was like, I'm curious. Then I was like, oh, that's what's happening. Then I went and played it. And I was like, that was actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think of the AI art debacle that happened?
Which one?
Okay,
with
I have
the contest.
Oh, the contest one, yeah.
I have mixed feelings about AI art in general.
Same.
Yeah.
For people like NerdForge, like they just used the AI art programs to do a cyberpunk themed project with like as a collaboration, and I think it works really well for like if you want cheap, fast art for like hobby projects. I think it works out well.
Yes.
But if you're gonna make art and try to sell it from an AI program, I have an issue with that.
Right.
Well, and also there's other issues that are starting to crop up. Like they had a person that made a complete comic using the AI artwork, and it used a celebrity likeness.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that can get you into all sorts of legal problems.
Yeah.
True. There's a lot of things about it that, yeah, it's going to create... That's the problem that we're having right now with it, is that it's, one, it's so new, and two, it's going to be a legality thing, is when it's going to have to stop it, is because there is no way to fully calculate. Well, I mean, you can calculate it into it, but it's an AI. It's thinking for itself in that sense. And it's pulling from reference like anybody else does, but it's also just ripping off too.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's different between a computer and a person, is that they've seen everything and we know what we're able to do and what we're not able to do. But I'm also kind of curious how all that's going to get calculated in later.
Well, my whole problem is also like AIs, they're also finding like they're taking other people's artwork and like reworking it in the AI to make it look like something else did it.
Yeah.
So some people have been finding like their artwork being like rehashed without their approval.
Yep.
And I'm just like, well, most of the AI artwork that I've seen so far is not the greatest.
There's some really cool ones I've seen. I'm like, that's actually kind of cool, but I'm also like, that's not a finished concept too.
Right. Like some of the stuff that I've seen, like I think one person posted like, I think it was Corey. She posted 2 monkeys, and it was supposed to be like the hands on the side of the face for the monkeys, but like the ears were placed other places.
Yeah.
Well, do you hear Jolly Jack played with one, and he does sequential art. He does a lot of anthros, and he put in the description of Chloe, who is one of his characters, and it just came back this horrifying looking like skunk thing that's just like a series of fleshy folds, and it's like, this is horrifying. Great art, but horrifying.
Yeah, I know one of my friends put in his OC, which is a superhero, and he put it in, and he's like, I'm really impressed with this AI stuff. And I'm just like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, but I just want you to work on your artwork not use AI to do your artwork for you.
Yeah.
Because he has a character, and his superhero character has like a set of goggles on and is bald. But like in some point in the artwork, I'm like looking at it and I'm like, that is a bald Tom Selleck. You know, that is a bald this person. Like he definitely had a lot of human, actual people likeness to it. He was just doing it for the character. He wasn't actually doing it as far as like a comic book, though.
Yeah.
It helps.
Like I said, we are in the testing phase, though. We're still in like a testing phase for it, and people are always going to try to take advantage of it.
Oh no, but there are people that are trying to take advantage of it already.
Yeah.
Like I said,
it's like when Bitcoin and all that first came out.
The artwork.
Yeah.
And now,
NFTs, and it's also the same thing with like NFTs when they first came out too.
Yeah, I mean,
which are now dying, thank God.
Like, I hate to break it down, but NFTs were something that should have never existed.
Yeah.
So, but if you were against NFTs, you should not have endorsed any type of crypto as well.
Right.
Because they run on the same system.
Well, I don't like any of the crypto. Like, if you see, like David, one of our friends, sits there and he tries pushing, oh God, you should get into crypto. You'll make $100,000 off crypto, and I'll show you how to do it. And I'm sitting there going, no, I don't want anywhere near this. Like, I researched it enough to go, yeah, I'm not going near this stuff. This is too jinky.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that. There's that one guy that did Bitcoin and all that stuff, crypto, and pretty much put his whole life savings into it, made over like $2 million, something like that, and didn't touch it. He's like, no, I'm going to let it keep getting higher and higher, and now he's back down to like 300,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was another guy that lost everything.
Because, well, here's the thing. Crypto's like stocks. People don't realize it. Crypto is like a digital form of stocks. It's not the full form of stocks, but it's pretty much stocks where if you don't pull out at the right time, you lose it all.
Yeah.
And then you have to wait for it to grow back up again. It's a thing. It's how it works. And that's where I think a lot of people just hasn't realized that yet. That like when you really put how stocks work and how crypto works, they're very similar. There's a lot more that go into stocks, but like how crypto and stocks and the base world work, they kind of are the same.
Well, yeah,
so it's a gamble.
Except you have more protection with stocks than you do with crypto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's an open source.
Yeah.
It's free. That's pretty much why. In that sense. But the idea of it was cool. I do agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bill has something in crypto. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to ask him. But
I don't knock people for doing it. I have friends that have been doing it for a while. They're making some good money in there, but they're not using it. They're like, oh, I'm worth this much. I'm like, in crypto. But I mean, like, if crypto literally crashes like people say it's going to, I'm like, are you really going to be worth that much? Like, yeah, that's true. I'm like, this is the gamble.
And it's crashing right now. Like, it is, like, Bitcoin itself is, like, down to, like, under 20,000 last I looked. And its high was, like, 60 or 70. So...
I mean, even if you pull out now, you'd still make all your money back. A lot of people would because of how much money they put in. I also don't know how many people are actually dealing with that. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Don't know what to do with this last panel.
Have fun with it.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out the story for it.
Mm.
So part of the thing that's been killing me with this issue was my brain kept going, there's a problem, and I couldn't see what the problem was. And then last night, as I was starting to fall asleep, my brain went, idiot, you have a plot hole.
Mm-hmm.
You have a gigantic one. You have these characters that just ran from a mob of these monsters. And sure, they just took out the big one, but you still have the mob in there that you haven't done anything with. And it's like, crap, I have to go in and close that plot hole.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I forgot to take my allergy meds, so I can actually sleep well tonight.
that's the other thing. It's been too damn hot and too much crap in the air.
My whole problem has been like I've been trapped inside doing housework, so
Yeah.
Not been fun. I now have to vacuum my counters to get all of the little tiny pieces up, and then I have to wipe them all down again. We had to like crack the tile
Ooh.
when we were redoing the electrical outlets in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's not fun.
So we also decided, like, we're just gonna, when we decide that we have the money to redo the kitchen, we're just gonna do the whole entire kitchen in one go.
Oh, there you go.
So we'll rip out the only problem that we may have is we have a soffit that we're not sure what's in there. We're not sure if the soffit is there because aesthetically it needs to be there, or if it's there because there's like a reason why it's supposed to be there.
It's hiding something.
Yeah. Like, so far, we haven't seen anything that would be, like, bad. So.
Yeah, I look at the horror stories and people are like, yeah, I removed a soffit and found a murder closet. It's like, okay. I need to pick up Stray at some point and play that.
I heard good things about it.
Oh, it's an absolutely beautiful game. Like, if you want to talk about games as artwork, oh my god, Stray is beautiful. I like that we're all deep in thought about our projects.
Well, I'm thinking I can probably end my script at page 60.
Nice.
And this is just a prelude to 13 chapters. So, like, this happens when all of the kids in the main story, they're like 19, and they're recalling when they met at 15. So,
Okay.
so like, I started the story out where they're 19 years old, and they're talking about how they first met, and then I go into the story on how they met. The main storyline, though, takes place when they're 17 years old, and they just leave the foster home that they were all in. Like, within the first chapter, one of them finds out they had a wealthy blood relative that left him, like, a house, money, like a means to travel, that sort of deal, and the three of them just go and live in the house, after solving the problem that's with the house. It's my Scooby-Doo stuff. There's a talking black cat in it, too.
And I would have gotten away with it, too, had it not been for those darn kids.
Actually, the magic and the ghosts and stuff are actually real. So it's not like... It's not the traditional Scooby-Doo trope where it's like they're humans. It's the Scooby-Doo if the monsters were real trope. So like Mystery Incorporated, where there's like an overarching like villain that's trying to control spiritual aspects around them.
Okay. That sounds fun.
Yeah. But yeah, like after this one, I have a chapter called Wisp Miss Manor, which is like the very first one. And apparently someone that lived in the house that one of them inherits, there's like a ghost that has a problem with the blood relatives that own the home. So she's trying to chase them out. But, like, this woman was crazy and apparently buried a whole bunch of kids on the grounds. So they have to kind of depower her and get her to, like, just chill. Like, type deal. Because they can't, like, exactly get rid of her either. She's the spirit of the house. So,
makes sense.
Fair.
But I just realized I just wrote the prelude where they now have to help out children with like wisps that are like wisps and like ghost children. But it's a different reason. They go to an old care house or like a foster home. It's like a group home. And the people who ran it was like there was a doctor and a nurse in there that ran it, and they did experimentation on the children. And so they killed a bunch of kids in the process.
Damn.
Yeah. And so like I just basically decided to be like, yeah, so they find a whole bunch of urns that they don't know who they belong to, but they start opening them and like the ashes go into the air. And like that's on how they're releasing the kids. I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Because the kids go into the air, they don't really come back down. The only big thing that's in it that I think I have to put a disclaimer for is one of the kids is trans. And when they go into the building that they were going into, like something transports them back into the 1950s, and the trans kid basically gets put in a tire that actually matches the gender that they were born in, not the gender they're trying to be. in, like after changing. So, like, I know I'm probably gonna have to put a disclaimer for that. But outside of that, it's not necessarily a plot point, but it's like a more of like a friendship builder with the other two characters,
Makes
so
sense.
that they know. Type deal. Sorry for interrupting.
Huh?
Someone was started talking, and I wasn't sure who.
Oh no, I was just listening to you.
No, I like this. That sounds like a really cool idea.
Yeah.
It sounds like a good concept.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not sure exactly why the protagonist is the antagonist is trying to do what he's doing to the three kids yet. Like, that's my biggest mystery. Is normally when I do stuff like this, like I can see the motives of my villain, but I can't really it seems like I'm soft building the villain character because I don't know what exactly I want to do with him yet. Other than the fact that apparently the three kids that are the main characters are part of three different families, that this kid is like getting a revenge plot against them that started with his parents against their parents.
Interesting.
But the three kids don't even know who this kid is. It's like he knows all about them, but they have no clue who this kid is at all.
So you're trying to figure out a good way to bring it all together.
So like I keep putting him like in like the final scenes where like he's observing how they handle the situation that he puts them in.
Right.
So like with the first chapter, I will have him like go to the relative that's about to die and have him go like as like a lawyer and go, well, you do know that you have a nephew here. Did you not realize he was in the foster care system? He's about to turn 18, so he'll need probably some funds if anything should happen to you. And then like have like a sign that goes, 3 weeks later he died of a heart attack.
Right.
And then the kid gets contacted, still 17, saying that once he turns 18, he'll have a house and he'll have means to take care of himself.
Right.
And, but part of the will, basically, he goes, you need to learn on how to tame this person in the house because without you doing it, you can't stay here. Oh, and you have 72 hours to do it once you move it.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah. Throw a 17-year-old like under the bus really quickly.
How to make this quick.
Yeah. But like I have another one where they go to a haunted fun house. They go to an observatory. They have to take care of a red cap in a lighthouse. They go to a southern mansion. That one's going to be fun to write because that's about Ori, which is the girl of the group. And she meets relatives that she never even knew that she had in that one.
Okay.
Like I have a witch, I have a golden demon, I have like, I have like, and I end kind of like on a haunted comic book studio is the final that they have to get through. So, and this is all like their first year going back, first year outside of a group home type deal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not trying to be like mean to foster kids. I like the premise of maybe having these kids age out and then having to figure out life out for themselves. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But yeah, after doing the prelude to now, I'm realizing I'm probably going to go out past 60 pages. Working on this prelude script alone, I think I'm going to end up probably doing more pages than 23 like I planned for the first chapter. So, oh, and I'm waiting on 10 new pages to be written for me for like Kiki Poppy for Bill. So, like, that's the other thing I'm waiting on. Because I'm redoing the artwork for it.
Cool.
And he wants to do it digitally. So I have to draw a diner that's similar to like an old-fashioned like small town diner mixed with an influence of Twin Peaks.
Okay. That'd
So-
be interesting.
Not the double R. Something smaller than the double R.
So I have a suggestion, and that is talk to Guy and build it out in 3D to draw it in 2D.
I would probably do that, but I have to draw it out so Bill can actually write about it properly.
Well, once you have the 3D set,
Mm-hmm.
then he could then you could start adding elements to it. Just have the basic set and start building the set in 3D so that you have a 3D model of it. And then when you drop it in digitally, you can trace over it and make it more how you would for
Cohesive?
yeah.
Yeah.
But this way, that way you can quickly change out elements and you can actually get the style you're aiming for digitally so that it's all kind of mocked out for you.
Well, I was thinking about doing that or just basically drawing the whole layout of the like bird's eye view. So at least he knows the layout so he can write the pages. Because I need the pages written before so that I can draw them. No matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to at least have like landmarks, like at least the layout. I told him that I think I want to do it similar to the diner that I grew up going to, where I literally, for like I think a month, my family got free breakfasts every Sunday there after I ran into their bar and split, and it was so sharp that it split open my head and I had like stitches at 2 years old.
Damn.
So instead of like suing them, like we got free breakfasts. I still have a scar on my forehead. You can barely see it now because I'm an adult, but when I was a child, you can see it very well. In which case, like you walk in and there's like a bar, like right here. So in the Double R in Twin Peaks, the bar is actually in the center of the restaurant. I'm moving it over to the side, similar to like a small time diner type feel, where like the stools are right there, the bar area is right there. You have a waitress that works that counter, and then on the other side, near the kitchen area, you have like another area where the servers are using the waitresses and the server or waiters and waitresses, whatever you want to call them. They're using like that soda machine, that ice machine right there. They have like a whole setup right there that's for like the tables, and then the kitchen itself is like in a window where it's like in the corner instead of like at the back wall. So like
Okay.
I'm seeing the kitchen so that it has like a unique feature where the head cook can at least look out and see the entire floor, so that he can see like people are getting their food fast enough and like pick up the pace if it needs to, if it's getting behind too well, in a much better like seeing the customer type of way. But like realistically, the restaurant doesn't get very much action because it's part of a small town.
Yeah.
So like I just need enough tables to describe so that we can fit the town leaders, 20 children, 3 counselors, and one of the camp officials and the bus driver, plus the people who work there.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, this place doesn't really get like the town part that's connected to our camp they don't really get tourists because most people don't even know this town exists.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, it's in a giant caldera that has been dormant, and there's a fictitious Native American tribe that owns most of the land. So anyone who moves there has to get clearance by them to actually live there. So yeah, Bill writes
No.
this with me, so I don't. Bill has like more story points that he can talk about than I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because my main influence is the drawing part.
I'm the artist. That's fine.
Yeah, I told him.
The pretty pictures.
Yeah, I draw the pretty pictures, and I'm just like, can you not give me such wordy paragraphs like you're describing an actual video camera shot, please? Like,
Right.
I cannot move a camera in panels. In one panel, I cannot move a camera. If I do, it doesn't work out very well. Digital comics, I can do that all day. It's called uploading a GIF. But print, no. Forget it. That's not going to happen.
That's a whole nother realm.
It's like, I think I broke down one thing he was trying to do. I had to break it up in like 5 different panels to show the movement that he was talking about.
Jeez.
And everyone's like, oh, come. And I'm like, no, you have no idea. Like, it was that. So, I love Bill.
I hope so.
But I'm gonna try to start. I'm gonna try to do the prelude cover, and then that I'm working on for that story, and then I'm gonna try to do the cover for the redo of Campfire Stories of Lake Kiki Poppy this week at some point.
Nice.
So.
I gotta figure out what I gotta do here. I got too much stuff going on, like usual.
I mean, I can always look at Cayenne's work and just basically be like, geez, so you're gonna be like what on page 5,000 by the end of the week?
I wish.
We hope.
I'm actually getting back. The past month or so has been really kind of rough on me. So I'm getting my speed back in. I got like 2 pages done today, so
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping to get back into this and get back into finishing off this. And I'm getting a little frustrated with it because the one scene that was like the opener scene is now on issue 5, and it's like, come on, I keep pushing this back because I'm trying to make the story flow better, but I'm losing the more interesting part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And why do you think that is?
Because this is all like, oh, here's this character, and here's them kind of building a relationship together, which is very interesting. But the whole swing that I was seeing was after all of that is taken from the main character, and it's just her going through and saying, no, this ends. And that's the main focus, is just her absolute anger and kind of inability to forgive herself over what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the story that I really want to write. And it's like, but I need this so that the audience kind of gets where this person is, because it's better storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's storytelling frustration, you know?
Yeah. I get it.
So.
My problem is I've gotten also this week, the biggest struggle for me is I discovered Breath of the Wild on the Switch.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been enjoying it, and it got to the point where I now have 2 horses in the game. One I call Smeagol, and the other one is Gollum. And Gollum is like one of those like all bluish black horses with a white mane.
Uh-huh.
It took me an hour and a half to get him tamed. Like, I was chasing one horse for that long. And this is after I already had Smeagol and like from the very first horse I got to tame.
Yeah, when I was playing that game, I got lost in the food, how to create food and all that stuff. I spent like 2 days trying to figure it all out, and I was just like, "Yep, we can't keep doing this."
I have mysterious looking gross plate foods that have like 5+ hearts that I can replenish with.
Uh-huh.
And then I have like plates of food that look like real plates of food that don't give me any hearts but give me grand effects like, oh, you have resistance to frost for 10 minutes if you eat this food. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. Because I grabbed a bunch of, I think they were like bat wings from like one of the creatures, and they come in regular, frost, and lightning. So
Okay.
um,
Well, it's also like the thing I kind of wish they had was like I don't know if they've updated this or not, but like a recipe book that like saves your recipes.
I haven't
Is that
gotten
a
ready
thing?
yet.
I don't know if there is or not, but like that's where I hit that point. I was like, I'm making all this stuff and I don't remember how to make any of it anymore.
Yeah, the only thing that I've been taught on how to make in game where it is like I need the milk from a specific area, I need a chicken egg, and I need rock salt.
Okay.
And apparently it's supposed to give you like an actual like thing that's like a delicacy in one of the towns. But they don't give you if you're supposed to have 2 eggs, if you're supposed to have 2 things of milk, 1 rock salt. Like they don't do that. They just tell you what's in it, and then you have to kind of guess.
Right.
So
Yeah, so I made the discovery about BlueStacks, which is a Android OS emulator.
mm-hmm.
And I needed it so that I could the cameras, the security camera system we uses an app for the phone, and my phone can barely run it, but having it up on the computer means that it has all the RAM it needs to run beautifully, and it's great to have.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also made the discovery of Azure Lane, which has been sucking my soul lately. And it's
Azure Lane?
Azure Lane.
Oh, Azure Lane.
Yeah. It is ship waifus. So like have you heard of Concol Collection?
Wait, are you talking about the anime?
Similar. It's based on a game, but it's the one with all the ship girls. Same thing. It's World War II ships, real ships done as anime girls.
Mm-hmm.
And so
it is like the animation. Okay.
Yeah. It's gotcha. It's stupid, but
them gotcha games.
Yeah.
They gotcha.
It's a time sink, and it's good for getting your mind off of things, because it's like, oh, I just need to mindlessly click on this.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And so long as I don't spend any money on it, I'll be fine.
Sounds like a gotcha.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the game is actually really set up so that the normal things that force you to spend money, it doesn't have. It has other ways of forcing you to spend money if you so choose.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of been me with my friend was trying to get me into Tower of Fantasy. And they told me it was a gotcha. They told me it was a gotcha, and I was like, I don't know if I want to get into that now after I heard that.
I don't know. Is Tower of Fantasy? Who makes it? Who makes it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not the same group. But like Arc Knights is made by the same company as Azure Lane.
Arc Knight, the tower defense one?
Yes.
Nice.
Wow, it is almost midnight.
Yep, it is almost time.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Friends.
It's great to see everybody come on again. Like, for a while there, Guy and I were like, it's so lonely.
Well, I was dealing with like a lot of personal drama. I just didn't want to get the channel involved in it. I just didn't want to bring that. And I was also like super in a weird place emotionally about it. So, like, I'm not trying to make an excuse for why I didn't come on, but like it's a very good excuse of why I didn't come on.
And you don't need to come up with an excuse. You needed to take the time that for yourself, and that is perfectly okay. And we're just really happy to see you guys back.
It just better be a good excuse.
Well, in the private chat, like I already said what
I know. I've read it all.
Yeah.
I know.
Like,
I just felt like talking shit.
So looks like we have lost our one watcher.
Our one viewer. Was it Brent? Did he finally fall asleep?
Yeah, it was Brent. Yeah, I think he
Brent.
fell asleep.
But I successfully ended the comic at page 64 as far as bullet point planning going. And now I have to do the individual panels to describe each of the things that I bullet pointed.
That's awesome.
But no, it's good. Yeah, like I think I now have like a basically like I think I worked everything out. I still feel like I possibly should have like a caseworker, like a foster care caseworker, like review the thing to see if this is even possible, like believable. If that makes any sense.
If you know one, definitely talk to them. And actually, they might even give you some pointers on how to make things even more realistic.
Well, they're going to a group home. I have the 3 kids going to a group home that's specifically for older teenagers that prepares them from going from being a teenager in a foster care system to being an adult outside of it.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is if you talk to a person that's in the system now, they might actually be able to even give you like little small things that you can put in that you might not even realize that would make the story more real and make people who actually are in the system go, this is a guy who researched. He understands.
Like one of the things that
research.
One of the things part of the story is like it takes place on the East Coast in Rhode Island. So I can ask someone in Colorado, but I think things work slightly different from state to state. So I have to find someone that's worked in Rhode Island to get like a better situation.
And particularly if you hunt down someone in Colorado and just say, hey, I'm looking for someone in Rhode Island so that I can get the little nitty gritties, they probably know someone or can put you in contact with someone.
Yeah.
I mean, with how many people have moved here in the past 5 years, there's got to be Rhode Island people here.
Oh no, I know there's people from Rhode Island that live in Colorado because, like, when I worked at IKEA, like they would come in and I'm like, "Oh, you're from Rhode Island, aren't you?" And they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "You sound like you're that you were born in Boston and then raised in the Bronx of New York." That's literally the Rhode Island accent. You take Bronx and you take Massachusetts, Boston, combine the two.
That works. Yeah.
So
Yeah, people get frustrated with my accent because they can't place me. But everybody else in my family, they're like, "You're from the Eastern Seaboard in the Maryland area." They're like, "What?" It's like, I know that accent. I have an accent.
yeah.
It's funny. My one older brother, he's never lived there, but everybody swears that he has a New York accent. It's like, hey, he's never been to New York. I don't know where he picked that one up from.
Well, it's kind of like was it when my cousin was here living with us? It was so funny because like we'd be sitting there, both of us would be sitting there talking, and we'd go from like the Floridian accent, which is like a southern accent, but like heavily influenced by New England,
Okay.
to we'd straight up become like talking like we're from the Massachusetts area. So like it kept happening, like we were switching back and forth depending on the subject matter that we were talking about. If we got excited about what we were talking about, it was super funny because like from an outsider perspective, you're like, wait, are like they doing this on purpose? Like, and both of us don't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Well, if I'm talking with someone and they're from the South, you'll actually start to hear my Southern drawl more because it'll start to come out.
Well, are you originally from the East Coast?
No, I am from Colorado.
Oh, okay.
I was the only one in my family that was born and raised here, but I lived here, then I lived in Arkansas, then Virginia, then Maryland, and then back out here. So I have a very, very Southern drawl when I talk. Oh. And mixed with the Western, people are like, I can't figure out where you're from.
Well, like I had at one point in high school, someone was like, he has his own language. Like, because like even in Florida, I'm weird the way that I sound.
Yeah.
Like, because Floridians don't talk like I do. But like, I grew up with New Englanders. My dad is from Rhode Island, so like from a very early age, I have an aunt, and I call her Aunt Martha. I do not pronounce the R in Martha when I talk to her or I talk about her. Like, I can say the name Martha, but when I mention and I think of my aunt, it's Martha.
You get that very heavy Boston accent.
That's Rhode Islander. That's Rhode Island. Yeah. Well,
it is midnight.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say that I need to leave to go to sleep.
I'm in the same boat. I'm just finishing up this last little bit here.
Yeah.
Finding a good stopping point,
Yep. Well, it was great having you guys back. Hopefully we will see you again soon.
Well, school started, so I'm going to be doing late nights again, so. Yep.
Yep. We're all in this together.
Oh, yeah.
So
it was good seeing you guys.
Good seeing you guys, too.
All right.
You guys have a nice night. And we'll see you later.
Sleep. We'll talk to you later.
Keep your eyes on the stars. Bye.